Hey guys, I finally made it out here to New York. Welcome to my apartment in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Started to fall in love with this apartment when I came to tour it. I just immediately fell in love with like how charming all of these elements are, like the trim and the wood and like even like these stairs. Obviously now that I've been here for a while, I'm just like not as enamored, but walking into this space, especially after seeing so many like crappy apartments.
For 2 years.
Yeah, I just fell in love. And so yeah, this is like the entryway to my unit. So I will take you guys upstairs. It is an Asian household, so we're gonna take off our shoes. The way that I found this place was through Street Easy. Again, like I mentioned, I like toured a ton of different places and I essentially had like the entire inventory of this like area on lock. This apartment popped up. The listing wasn't that cute. Like the photos weren't that cute, but it was in the area that I was looking for. So I reached out to the realtor and got a showing that day. When I got there, it was just like me and another girl because apparently I literally responded within like maybe 30 seconds of the listing posted. I saw the unit, fell in love and signed for it pretty quickly, like either that day or the next day after I got approved. Well, once I got back to San Francisco, I had to figure out how I was going to move over here and what I was going to move over here. And so what I did, I actually met the tenant. I asked him to send me all the dimensions of his place. And he also had done a West Coast move. So bless his heart, he actually gave me dimensions for this entire apartment. And so I 3D rendered the entire apartment. I tried to figure out what furniture was going to fit what the optimal layout was. I'm pretty sure I tried out 4 or 5 different layouts to optimize the space. Really excited to show you guys what we landed with, or what we landed on. So like I mentioned, I feel like with the 3D rendering and everything, it just became super clear that in order to make the most out of this space, I needed to do some custom furniture. I've had friends like do it in the past. It feels a little extra, but I knew I was gonna be locked into this space for 2 years. I signed a 2-year lease, and so this was the solution. This literally was a desk from my Potrero Hill apartment, and I used Figma and whatever, and I just kind of like drew what I felt like would fit in this space. There's just like a lot of little like ridges and stuff that I need to get right here. I used like a cardboard sort of template, stuck it in here and just made sure it fit, but we did it. So now it's in here. It's not quite floating, but there's like legs at the bottom. When I'm working from home, this is sort of the setup, and that's the office. You might recognize this shelf. I did bring this over from the San Francisco apartment. Again, like I mentioned, worked with a contractor who is amazing. What he did was he actually helped me trim the ends of the bookshelf to fit in this sort of space. So I think we trimmed about like an inch or 2. And so it tucks right in. It's like a vintage IKEA piece, which is really nice, but I like tailored the furniture to fit in this space. Aspirationally, again, I've like started to build out more of like this setup, but I still don't have my 2-channel mixer, but I have my speaker system and everything here, my TV also brought from San Francisco. And then I think the other piece to really call out is that rugs really help you sort of create zones for your space. Originally, this rug was underneath my bed. I pulled it out, and so it kind of helps create like, okay, this is like a pseudo living room space. Again, we're working with what we got with the studio. I guess the last piece to complete that is the sofa, which, you know, if I were to pick a sofa, would this be the one that I love? No, but this is perfect for the space. It's from Burrow, and so it's like making sure that it fit. It ended up working out perfectly here. I don't know, I'll watch White Lotus from here. That's what I'm watching right now. My friend just like gave me this coffee table thing, so I'll like pull this up. You know, if I want to have dinner and watch TV, this is like what I'll do. And then it goes to the side when not in use. Also brought over from the last apartment. Everything is essentially the same. The machine that cools and heats the bed is over on that side in between the bed and the window. Have the Create a Kent poster up on the wall too, and finally it's framed, and so that's like the only one piece of arch that I have up on my walls. And then I also have the Iket that I brought over as well, serving as like a nightstand to help give some sort of separation from the dining room area. The other sort of like tech bro things that I have, I just got this CO2 monitor. Literally got this like yesterday or something, and the first reading was 2400. So apparently if it's over 1000, you're not cognitively functioning at the normal amount. So try to get a CO2 monitor. They're kind of expensive, but I'm glad I got one. That's sort of like the bedroom area. Delineate the bedroom and like living room area, and then here I try to use this rug to kind of delineate like the dining area, as like cramped as it is. So if you recognize a lot of this I did bring over from San Francisco. Brought the settee over, this dining table, these chairs. This also opens up and has the extension in the middle. I've moved it over to like the center of the studio in order to host more people. It's nice to feel like a bit of continuity from my last place. This was my favorite place to kind of hang out. I do miss the chandelier. There's no good light fixtures. Yeah, this is sort of like the dining room area. And we move into the kitchen. Again, it's not as open as my last place, but it's still quite a big kitchen for the studio. And the fact that there's like semi-modern appliances, if anyone's like apartment hunted in New York, you know that there's like appliances that are just like super old or whatever. So I was just happy that it was modern-ish or whatever. As you might recall, this is the coffee station. This is where I'll make my morning coffee. So I have all my appliances here, but I think the thing that I was most excited about, there was nothing here before, and I think the previous tenant had like a trash can here and maybe a small table or island situation. I first bought like a kitchen cabinet situation, and like as you can see, like this kitchen is already like really small. That just like made it super suffocating in here. I was really looking for something that felt airy and didn't feel like it was going to suffocate me in this kitchen. I saw the IKEA concourse or whatever, and even though it's supposed to be a wall unit, I had the idea of maybe making it into a pseudo kitchen island. I mean, it has that like feel, like this seems like butcher block, like this sort of stainless steel shelves below. I think the fact that it's not touching the floor makes it feel pretty airy. What I use here is like, you know, I have some food storage. I have my pots and pans and other things sort of like easily reachable here. This is like provides much needed storage in this like tiny kitchen. I don't cook like a ton, but enough that every inch again basically helps. Some other things we brought over, the slide out trash can I actually installed myself. Of all things to bring over from San Francisco, we brought the slidey trash can. Other things like utensil organization. This is much smaller. It was hard to find something that fit. I think we only have 2 drawers here. I'm so grateful that I have a dishwasher. Oh my gosh, I think in the last video I had like a portable dishwasher. This saves my life. I know it's like not very Asian of me. It is an Asian household, so we're gonna take off our shoes. But yeah, I love my dishwasher. And also like I think these little like risers I love. Or just like kind of add some sort of like height and separation or grouping. Previously this was like just a gray tile, which was fine, but I did one of those like DIY sticker tile projects, so made it this like checkerboard marble-y thing. The other thing is like storage. I really don't have that much space, so everything has to like go up. Wine storage is up there. Just think about above your kitchen cabinets to put more stuff up that looks like aesthetic that you wouldn't mind people able to see, but you just need to put it somewhere. So that's, yeah, wine jars, my picnic basket, all that stuff is like made it up there. So I think the entryway was actually probably the bane of my existence. Yeah, again, small space living, storage is like the biggest issue. So I think I tried to use the Alpha here, but it just like wasn't working. It helped to have this shoe storage out here. And now it's kind of serving as like extra entryway space. I like made this little perfume sort of like thing. So I'll like spritz this on my way out. Other things are, I don't know, I made a phone jail. I use this old lingerie box, drilled a hole in it to put my iPhone in here. And the idea is that I would keep my iPhone at the entryway so I just be unplugged when I'm at home, but I have not been good about using it. I guess the last thing, this mirror is also drilled into here. I think in general, I am very much pro drilling in your apartment. I also am in general, just because this like closet was like literally the bane of my existence, especially with the move of everything miscellaneous would go into here. And so I'm just really happy with where we've landed. All of my big puffy jackets go in here, which is new to me as someone not from the East Coast. Scarves and stuff go into here. I have boots and stuff that go into here. Other things as well. I installed this coat hook. Again, I thought I didn't really need this, but it is really useful to like hang all your grocery shopper totes and that sort of thing. Trying to make the most out of this little like hallway space. So yeah, that's the entryway. Room that I technically have in this studio is the bathroom, and it's definitely not as nice as my place in San Francisco, but if anyone again has looked at apartments in New York, I feel like having a decent modern-ish bathroom was a non-negotiable for me, and there's a lot of apartments that do not have that at like a reasonable price range. This is essentially the bathroom. I think I had some like high hopes like to do some more like DIY projects here. Like I thought about putting fake wainscoting and also do like the tile project. I don't know, there's only so many DIY projects you can do, and I think again, I've only been here for 6 months, so I've done a lot of work on like sort of the main area of the house, and who knows, maybe we'll do an update on the studio when it's like a year or so in. We'll see. Okay, if it helps to just like be in here, I don't always have florals in here, but this is actually really nice. Like maybe I should do this more often. This is like what the vanity looks like. I do like to put all of my stuff into little cups. It's just like a little nice touch. I think like the one thing that I've had in multiple places in my apartment is this working hands. If you have really dry hands, this is like the only thing that will actually cure your hands. I guess, yeah, again, decanting stuff, like putting things. This is from Muji too. Big fan of like decanting. I don't know if decanting is the right word, but so yeah, that's basically my small little New York studio. Clearly I went from like small space living to even smaller space living. I think this is like around 300 something square feet. We're making it work. Put in a ton of work also because I signed a 2-year lease. I don't know if I would have done all of this knowing I was only here for a year. Lots of little different projects, only been 6 months, and so feeling fairly settled, but know that there's like a lot of other projects and things like that I want to do. But overall, it's been so incredible being in this neighborhood. That basically wraps up the apartment tour of my New York studio. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Yay! Yay! So quiet. It was kind of